That's it. Call the meeting to order at 4:53 PM. The record show present, Alderman Weary, Alderman Brunette, and Alderman Johnson. Alderman Nicholson not present. Approval of the agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Alder Weary, second by Alder Brunette.
I'm sorry if I do have a question. Director Grenier, there's a constituent, I forget her name and her street, but she did reach out 2 or 3 weeks ago about a fee she was charged, and she appealed the fee, and I thought that would be on the agenda tonight. I know without a name or address, it's hard for you to pinpoint, but
We'll definitely look into it.
yeah. That's fine. I'll forward the name to you.
Okay.
I just, in case she were to show up, I
Sure.
just want to make sure we can let her know that it's just a
Okay.
filing error or something.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Regular business item number 1. Consideration of possible action. Well, we'll just turn it right over.
Gentlemen,
He's got his own shirt. Look at that.
it's the Klan, Johnson, it's the Klan. Thank you.
You can just continue. Keep going. Sure. Consideration with possible action request by Pete's Annex LLC to enter into an agreement for parking division to manage and enforce parking in the BMO Harris Bank parking lot located in the block surrounding by Broadway, West Walnut, Hubbard, and Pearl Streets, Lot BW, held over from the September 27, 2018 Improvement Services Committee meeting. Staff?
We have been communicating with the agent representing the owner, and the agent has responded to us. We just reached out to him earlier today, and he has indicated that he is in discussions. There's one partner who has not yet consented to sign the document. And then I had a conversation with Alder Johnson before the meeting. Were you successful in speaking with anyone?
Just a voicemail.
Voicemail. So at this point, we have offered the changes that were requested by committee back to the owner and asked them to respond one way or the other, either in the affirmative or rejecting the counter proposal. And we are waiting to hear from them. So at this point, we would recommend holding the item until the next meeting. And just know that we are being, short of being pesty, we are continuing to call on a every other or every third day basis to, hey, is there anything else we can do? Do you need any additional information? It's just a lack of response on behalf of the agent representing the owner getting back to us.
Move to hold.
Motion to hold.
Second.
Do you want me to take it? Sure. All those in favor?
Aye. Sorry.
That's okay.
Came a chicken.
I thought you were.
Who's gonna break?
Want to take it from here, number 2?
All right, thanks, Brian. Number 2, consideration of possible action on a request by Alderman Weary to review how sidewalk replacements are funded. Held over September 10th, 2018, Improvement Services Committee meeting. Weary? Or Director Grenier?
We're on number 2.
Number 2. Right. I think we skipped a couple of items.
Oh, I like moving up.
Are we on 2?
No, you're on the wrong, that might be an old agenda. Maybe you gotta refresh here, maybe. Yeah.
I appreciate moving up.
Thank you for computers.
I think that just had the old agenda open yet.
You want to take it?
Sure. Number 2, consideration with possible action on request by Capital Credit Union to have the City of Green Bay accept dedication of the infrastructure and stormwater management pond associated with the Mason Creek First Edition subdivision.
We have included in your packet the request from the attorney representing Capital Credit Union, and then on the flip side, the next page is an overhead map showing the Mahone Creek First Edition. This was constructed, I believe, back in about 2010, 2011, somewhere in that neighborhood. And generally what happens is, when a subdivision goes in, within 2 years, we get out to 60, 70, 80% build out. We'll come in, we'll put the final surface on, and immediately upon completion of the improvements, the owner requests that we dedicate it, and city accepted dedication. There was about the time that the improvements were completed, there was a change in personnel within Capital Credit Union that was overseeing the project, and I think this one just kind of got lost in the wash. So as luck would have it, the attorney representing Capital Credit Union on this matter is somebody that we're in contact with for a variety of other projects, most of them subdivisions. And with subdivisions picking up right now, it gave us the opportunity to strike up a conversation. He had a conversation with Capital Credit Union. They didn't realize they hadn't dedicated this over, and have just simply requested that they now take this up. It was March 2011 is when we entered into the agreement, so the work was actually completed in the summer of 2011. It's not very common that something would stay open like this for 7 years, but all the work was completed in accordance with city standards, city specifications, so staff feels comfortable with accepting the dedication. If the plan is to approve this request, we will also have a resolution in the council agenda at the next council meeting.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Johnson's got it for this.
Yeah,
for this
Oh,
one.
yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director, and maybe I'm reading it wrong, but are we taking over ownership of the pond and like cutting the grass and taking care of that area? Is that?
We would take ownership of the pond in the surrounding area, which is, if it provides an area-wide benefit, that's normal.
Okay, so I was just curious, does that happen for all subdivisions or just for the big ones?
For most of the subdivisions constructed since 2002, 2003, I would say. This is
Hannah
normal.
Street has a little,
That one may have predated
okay.
when we got into.
I know there's some issues now of not being kept up, right? So I
Right.
think we're going in there and I don't know who we're billing, because there's really not
Whoever the legal entity, the LLC
Okay.
who originally was involved, which is probably somebody associated. I think there are multi-families nearby on that one, or they're not?
it's all single-family homes.
Single families?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the one I'm thinking of then.
But it's something I could follow up with.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Have we been on site to inspect this to ensure that it meets our standards?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? It's your pleasure.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Yes. Jim, I accidentally logged out and logged back in. Hopefully it didn't mess you up.
No.
I hit the back button too many times.
Is he good, Jim? Is Johnson good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 3, consideration of possible action, request by 304 North Adams, Green Bay LLC for a change of agent and enter in a parking agreement at the Pine Street ramp for Hotel Northland. Director Grenier?
As part of the original development agreement for the Hotel Northland, we had a parking agreement with Franz Community Investors doing business as Hotel Northland LLC. With everything that's gone on, there's a new LLC over there, so you may remember at the last common council meeting, we had a change of agent for Lot MM. This is similar in that we have a new agent that's party to that developer's agreement. Also, the terms and conditions of this have changed, and we're very happy about that. The original agreement we had structured as part of the Hotel Northland was 150 parking passes that came out to an average of 33 per pass for 5 years. Then that went up over 2 successive 5-year terms. The model, the pro forma that's being used by 304 North Adams, rather than having passes and trying to manage the key cards with their guests, they've reduced the number of pass cards that would be issued from 150 down. They're only going to look for 30 up front. They're reserving the right to go as much as 50 at the original terms. But all other passes that will be used, the key cards would be used for staff. The guest access instead will be using vouchers. And if you're not familiar with how our vouchers work within the ramp, we simply issue it looks a lot like the spitter ticket that you get when you enter the ramp, and there's a magnetic strip on there that's tied to an account. So it's not, it works kind of like a prepaid credit card, but not quite. Whatever charges accrue when you enter that voucher, it simply bills those to somebody's account. Okay, so you pay on a per hour actual cost basis. What that allows Hotel Northland to do is they are going to charge their patrons a set fee for parking, and it'll be right directly on their bill, so their patrons don't have to worry about paying cash at the ramp or figuring out a way to pay. 304 North Adams will simply give them a voucher to exit the ramp. They will consolidate, because it's going on 304 North Adams account, that consolidates all the billing into one neat, tidy location so that it can easily be paid by the LLC. The benefit to the city is, rather than getting paid a monthly rate on the ramp, we're actually going to get paid hourly, which is a higher rate, so it's actually more revenue for the city. So what we've put together is a parking agreement that encapsulates those discussions we've had with 304 North Adams Green Bay LLC. They are reviewing this at the same time, so what we would recommend is approval, subject to approval by 304 North Adams, and if there are minor editorials, that be approved. If there's anything substantive relative to the terms and conditions, if they need more than the number of stalls that we've identified, if they change from voucher to prepaid cards, pass cards, that kind of thing we would consider to be substantive changes, but if it's minor and editorial, and we would let you know any changes that would come about.
What are the wishes of the committee? Any questions, concerns?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Worry, second by
Second.
Johnson. Under discussion?
Steve, this was drafted by
Alderman Bruno.
our legal department.
Actually, it was drafted by me.
Was drafted.
This is a standard form
Yeah, I saw
parking
your name at the
agreement.
bottom. The reason I asked the park committee before you were here, we had an agenda item, and Dan thought that it should be reviewed by the law department. Would you think that would be?
This is a standard form parking agreement that we've been using for probably the last 15 to 20 years with other parking patrons that law department has previously reviewed.
Gotcha. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. For consideration of possible action by Alderman Worry to review how sidewalk replacements are funded, held over by October 9th, 2018, Improvement Services. Director Canera or Worry?
I will defer to Alder Weir.
All right,
Alderman
thank you.
Worry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I go into this one, I'm just wondering, Alderman Galvin had a request for sidewalk inspection, like systematic sidewalk inspection. Has that come back yet?
That has not come back. We are currently working on trying to come up with, there's a lot of information that goes into his request. It was a pretty in-depth, it sounded pretty easy on the surface, but it actually wound up being like an onion. You keep pulling layers back.
So that'll be coming as like a report.
Yes, yes, sir.
If possible, we could refer this to staff to come back with yours. What I'm looking for is
That would be
what
fine.
do the 10 largest cities in Wisconsin do for replacement sidewalks? You know, do they pay for it 50-50 like we do? Is it all 100%? Is it zero? Do they have other funding sources? I'm just looking to see if we're missing something that others are doing, because as we've all seen, if you get 10 cakes replaced, you're getting it pretty heavy. I'm just wondering if other cities do it a better way.
Well, Steve, do you have any idea what other cities do?
Right offhand, I do not.
No?
It might come back that we have the best method.
When we're 100% unless it's caused by city property, right? Like a
Yes.
tree?
Yeah. So I'm just curious what other cities do. You know, do we have the best method? I don't know.
I mean, because you said 50/50,
Oh, yeah, I'm
but
sorry.
we're at 100,
I'm-
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All my cakes have city tree.
So that's all you're looking for?
Fully got there.
Before,
Jamie knows that, right? Okay. I'd make a motion to refer this to staff to bring back in
Motion
conjunction
to
with the other one.
refer to staff by Worry, second by
Second.
Burnett. But, I mean, that's what you're looking for? That's all you're looking for?
That's it?
But I mean, just,
Oh, well, with the understanding that they bring back the top 10 cities and how they
Right.
do it. Yeah.
but is it, I mean, wouldn't you want, okay, I just want to be specific. You're just looking at sidewalks that are basically damaged by
Anything.
anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there'll be a breakdown of trees,
well, what we'll do
age.
is, as part of the report that we are currently working on for Alder Galvin, we will also include an analysis of how sidewalk damage is addressed by the 10 largest municipalities in
think
the
they
state, and kind of
they
bring
go good
both of
together,
those.
Right.
Those
But
reports
you're
together.
gonna have like Appleton, tree damage, what they do, green, or Manitowoc,
We could definitely do it in a
tree,
table.
what they do for
Sure.
trees specifically,
Well, it'll be trees and other,
other
well,
factors
it'll
such
be
as,
city factors and other than city factors.
but you'll know.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. 5, consideration of possible action on a request by Department of Public Works to approve amendment number 5 for professional service agreement between city and Ayers
Yes.
Associates for North Webster Avenue design in the amount of $18,940, Director Junior.
Ayers is the consultant that we've hired for design services on the North Webster Avenue project. We are just past the 90%, so by November 1st, they need to have the plans and specs turned into the DOT, so DOT can bid those out. They have an amended scope of services, which we've included in the packet. There are some changes to the draft layout of the lighting conduit and bases. The lighting design staff did, Ayers is responsible for integrating that into the design. They didn't have the cost of what it would take them to do that until we actually provided a draft of the plans that needed to be implemented. The $4,500 is actually a pretty small cost. And that reflects the quality of the plans that we provided them. It was very easy for them to import that. There's some additional traffic control coordination, specifically as it relates to the closure of the intersection and some modifications that are needed or considerations that need to be taken relative to the detour routing. Pedestrian access during construction, obviously, it's a long corridor. We don't want to leave pedestrians completely isolated and provide them with the ability to get not only up and down the corridor, but at strategic locations to cross the corridor. Some details regarding the closure of the alleys on the east side where we're buying all the property up and we're putting the multi-use trail. Those alleys cannot come onto Webster any longer. Changes, revisions to the storm sewer plan. The original scope had all the storm sewer as part of the DOT project. Because of some logistics and coordination, we've got some very, very large pipes. They're 60-inch diameter pipes that are between University Avenue and the East River. The conflicts between that storm sewer and some of the sanitary sewer was challenging enough that we didn't want to let that under somebody else's control for construction, so we rolled that work into our project, which is going on right now, and that will end up changing how the work by others integrates into the work under the DOT. There's a new construction site stormwater runoff permit that needed to be obtained, so that's a pass-through cost. We have a number of proprietary products that we have in our specification that are, we insist for a number of reasons. Sometimes we have used, if there's 8 products that you could use on the DOT list, we may have found problems with 6 of them, so we simply don't use them. But if you're on a DOT contract, unless you have a justification why you can't use those, and a contractor comes in, you have to accept that product. So in order to make sure we get what we want, we have our consultants write this proprietary product justification. Then there was an additional title reports, some title search, some updates, an ownership report. That's all relative to the real estate acquisition, not necessarily for the full parcels. This was more for the small strip takes and vision corners on the west side. So when you add up all of these items together, total cost is $18,940. Definitely reasonable charges for the amount of effort that's going for, so staff is comfortable recommending approval of that.
Questions or concerns? If not, entertain a motion.
Move to approve?
Motion to approve by Johnson, second by
Second.
Burnett. Under discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays motion carried. Okay, 6, consideration with possible action on a request by DPW to extend 5-year option for parking lot Mary Mary with Arlington Computer Products LLC, Director Grenier.
At council, we took up as a committee of the whole the change of agent for that parcel. That again is where the old body shop used to sit on the corner of Main and Monroe. That, because we were able to execute the change of agent, then we were able to go back now and discuss with the new owner that lot, or the existing lease runs out on October 31st of 2018. Both parties are interested in exercising the first of the 2 5-year extensions that were contemplated. We couldn't do this until we got the change agent, so now we got the change agent. Today we're taking up the actual extension. The staff does recommend approval of this.
Who owns the property?
We own it. We're leasing it out as a parking lot to, it used to be Camera Corner, now it's Arlington Computer Products.
So Camera, and Arlington's gonna be taking over the lease?
They'll be
and then-
taking the lease over from Camera Corner Connecting Point.
Okay, and then they'll decide who they want to have parked there?
They have their own staff. That's
Okay.
a staff parking lot.
What do we lease it out to, for?
I believe the original lease terms, it continues to index up with other surface lots. But we were at $25 per space per month, and they perform all the maintenance.
25 times what?
24 stalls.
Okay, so that's what?
600 bucks was the original
For a
term, and
month.
again, that continues to
4,
index
5,
with.
6, you're right, a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what, 7,200 a year?
Yeah.
Does that cover our taxes and everything?
Well, because we own the lot, there is no taxes. I believe that's more than what the taxable.
That's
that
what I
prob-
mean, Steve.
Yeah, that's,
So we're covering, if we just sold it and someone else was paying taxes on it, that would cover it, 7,200.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Even when the body shop was on there, I think the entire assessed value of that parcel was,
$10.
Was it
I-
that low?
well, I think we purchased it for the assessed value, which was $175,000. That was the land and the buildings.
Okay,
Which $175,000 would probably, the city taxes on it alone would be at $9, $9.50, $9.10 a thousand, something like that.
so we're bringing in revenue?
Yes.
Okay.
We currently are.
Okay.
And the intent with that is we'll lease it out for parking until such time that we have willing sellers. We're not gonna go around and condemn.
Perfect.
But if we get willing sellers to assemble a large enough parcel on that corner for a redevelopment opportunity, then we'll make it available for redevelopment as well.
Any questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
To approve.
Motion by Worry to approve, second by Johnson, under discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. 7, consideration, possible action, and request by Parks Department to install access to West Side Trail with associated sidewalk on the east end of St. Jose Place. Director Grenier.
We've included a copy of an overhead photograph in the package here for you. San Jose Place comes down and dead ends as a cul-de-sac near the West Side Trail. And currently, there is no, the public wants access off of San Jose Place to the West Side Trail, but there's not an improved surface there. So we took a look at what would be the most appropriate, the shortest distance between existing sidewalk and where the proposed point of access would be sort of heading counterclockwise around the cul-de-sac, if that is a better description than trying to give a direction. So it minimizes the amount of additional sidewalk that needs to be installed in the public right-of-way, and then provides a direct access over to the trail. So it would be concrete sidewalk going around the cul-de-sac, and then where that goes on a straight line over to the trail, that would actually be an asphaltic trail connecting up to the West Side Trail. You've been dealing with Parks on this?
Any questions?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Worry. Need a second.
Second.
Second by Burnett. You're under discussion, Burnett.
Steve, Grant Street, I'm quite familiar with that area, Grant Street. Has there been any discussion in that area? Are we kind of opening a can of worms that, I mean, the cost is minimal for the public access to the trail, so it's worth doing, but Grant Street is also a cul-de-sac.
Correct.
Is there any discussion?
To the best of my knowledge, we have not received any similar requests for public access off of Grant. But it very well could happen.
Yeah, I would imagine. Okay, that's all.
Okay.
And if we received a request for Grant, we'd treat it the same way.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. 8, consideration of possible action on the review and award of the contract Pine Street Parking Ramp Office HVAC replacement. Director Grenier.
Received 2 bids for this project. Low bid was AMA Incorporated in the amount of $76,964. Staff was happy with the bids. This was part of our capital program for the parking utility, or parking division, so we do recommend award of contract to that low responsive bidder.
Questions or concerns? If not, entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Burnett, second by
Second.
Johnson. Under discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. 9, consideration of possible action on a request by Wisconsin Public Service Corporation for an easement across the following city-owned parcels. You want them together, Steve, or separate?
We can take them together. It's the same
Okay.
basic request.
9A, 2880 St. Anthony Drive, parcel number 21-275-10-B Boy. B, 629 Mount Mary Drive, tax parcel number 21-324-1-1. Steve Grenier.
We have included in the packet a couple of documents that show photographs, overhead aerial views, and the actual draft exhibits. These are 2 city-owned parcels. The one on Mount Mary, or St. Anthony, that's on the corner of St. Anthony and Mount Mary, that services a lift station. And the one on Mount Mary, just north of Humboldt Road, is actually where the water utility Mount Mary pedestal tank is. What these easements are, it's a utility easement that's 12 feet wide, runs parallel with the road, and it's located just on the property side of the property line, so it's not in the public right-of-way. That is the traditional location for a utility easement. They don't have these in place with us because they're city-owned properties right now. With the right-of-way becoming congested, Wisconsin Public Service likes to retain the rights for that 12-foot wide utility easement. They have negotiated them with the neighbors. They're just simply coming to us to negotiate the same thing. And again, this is the usual and customary location for that type of an easement. So this is something we're in agreement with.
Questions or concerns?
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Worthing, second
Second.
by Burnett. Under discussion, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. 10, consideration possible action on application for concrete sidewalk builder's license by Millis Flatwork? Millis?
Millis.
Millis. Grenier?
We would recommend approval contingent upon receipt of positive reference check.
Questions or concerns, or I'll entertain a motion to what Mr. Grenier stated.
So moved.
By Johnson, second by Worry. Under discussion, hear none, all in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. 11, consideration of possible action on an application for tree and brush trimmer license by Basic Tree Service. Director Grenier.
As was the case with the sidewalk builder's license, staff recommends approval contingent upon positive reference check.
Questions or concerns? If not, entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
By Johnson.
Second.
Second by Burnett. Under discussion. Hear none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays,
Aye.
motion carried. 11, reports of actions taken by the Department of Public Works, award of contracts. Number 1, to award contract Parks Project 3-18 Bay Beach Giant Wheel Project to the low responsive bidder. Lunda or Lunda?
Lunda.
Lunda Construction in the amount of, we're looking at $1,445,451.50. Held over October 9th. Proven services, Director Grenier.
This contract was one that, due to timing of getting the bids out and getting that contractor engaged, the committee council granted the authority at the staff level to award that contingent upon proper financing being in place. We were informed by Parks Department that the bids came in and they had the financing in place, so that contract was executed last week.
Questions or concerns?
And I think we can take all of these as one item if you,
Well, too late. Well, we can do, well, let's just skip, let's finish number 1. All in favor? Or just a minute, I need a motion, I'm sorry. Motion to approve, or?
it's just to receive and place on
Receive and
file.
place
the
on
report.
Oh, okay. And that was, help me out, who made the motion?
Weird.
Worry made a motion to
Second.
approve and receive and place on file, second by Burnett. Under discussion, here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays,
Aye.
motion carried. Okay, number 2, to approve the award contract raising buildings for Webster Avenue Reconstruction Group. Number 2, to the low bidder, Badgerland Demolition Earthwork, the amount of $60,558. Director Kinnear.
Again, this is a contract that council, committee and the council granted staff the authority to keep the project moving on Webster. Received 2 bids for the second group of houses on Webster Avenue. Badgerland was the low bidder in the amount of $60,558. So staff does recommend, staff has awarded that contract to keep those moving as well.
Motion to receive and place on file by
So moved.
Johnson, second by Burnett. Under discussion, here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. Okay, we're at B. Enter into a state municipal agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for traffic signal updates along West Mason Street from Military Avenue to 12th Street. Director Grenier.
Again, we were granted the authority to enter into these agreements to keep things moving along in a timely manner over the summer. The agreement for the traffic signal upgrades, we actually executed on the 10th of July, but it did not get onto the August committee meeting and simply fell between the cracks, so we're reporting that out at this time. What this is signal rehab upgrades at 7 signalized intersections along the West Mason Street corridor from Military Avenue to 12th Street, including the interconnects between those so that the signals will talk to each other. It's a 90-10 funding, 90% of the funding provided by DOT, 10% match from the city, so it's a very good deal for us.
Motion to receive and place on file by
So moved.
Second.
Worry, second by Johnson. Under discussion, here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. C, enter into a state municipal agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for LED bulb replacement at various locations across the city of Green Bay. Director Grenier.
Again, same thing, we entered into this agreement, this one actually we got in June. It's again a 90-10 cost split, 90% by the feds, 10% match funding by the city of Green Bay. 38 locations, signalized intersections along connecting highways through the city of Green Bay. The LED bulbs obviously last a lot longer than the old incandescent bulbs that we used, but I think we did the original LED conversion project almost 10 years ago.
It was longer than that, I might be pushing 20.
To the LEDs?
I was traffic engineer when we did it, yeah. And I've been not the traffic engineer for coming up on 13.
Okay. So the LEDs have served their useful life. The only problem with them is when you do all the intersections at once, they all start to fail at the same time. So getting in there and getting the first 38 funded by the feds, we have 100 or 101 total signalized intersections across the city. So to get 40% of them funded by the feds is definitely a help. So, when that money came available through the state, and it was a pretty short window to apply for it, we definitely jumped all over it.
Okay, entertain a motion to receive and place on file by Johnson, second by
Second.
Burnett. Under discussion, here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays motion carried. Informational Director's Report. Director Grenier.
Okay, just a couple of things for you for tonight. Traffic signal replacement, if you've been over on the west side on Walnut Street, you'll see that Walnut and Ashland looks like a bomb went off. That is one of the intersections that's targeted for this year's traffic signal replacement. The second is up at Radisson and Webster, so that we have new signals that are intelligent signals in place prior to the DOT contract starting next spring. So that project is well underway. Speaking of Webster, construction has begun over on Webster Avenue. We've been at it for almost 2 weeks, and things are progressing very well considering the number of utilities that need to be completed within that section between from University Avenue down to the East River, and simply the sheer size of some of that. If you have an opportunity, I don't know if they finished that storm late last week or if they're still.
Probably pecking at the storm yet.
Okay. If you get a chance to swing past there during the day, I'd strongly suggest you take a peek at it. Watching a 5-foot diameter storm sewer go on the ground is pretty impressive work. Sweepers, we have completed 17 rotations across the city, so that's not only a cleanliness for quality of life, but that definitely is a positive impact on our storm sewer system and our MS4 permit, which is being recognized by Department of Natural Resources. And the second piece of that is our leaf collection. I think we're through 2 full rotations.
Right, just starting.
Just starting our 3rd rotation.
Yep.
Cooler temps, rain, and some wind that we've had recently is definitely helping some of those leaves come down. The oaks are still hanging on, always do. Just a reminder, last rotation starts the week of November 11th, and we get this question all the time. If the leaves are hanging on, are you going to extend the season? And as much as we'd love to, we can't, because we use the same vehicles to plow snow that we do to collect the leaves. It takes us about top to bottom 3 weeks to get through the fleet and make that conversion. And if we get caught with those trucks out, not converted for winter, and we get an early snowstorm, the complaints about the leaves not getting picked up pale in comparison to the complaints we get about not plowing somebody's streets. So to the extent that we can't guarantee anything beyond that 2nd week in November, but to the extent that we can, we will use whatever we have left, and typically that winds up being tractors and pans. Pans are our old rear loader garbage trucks that have the big chute off of the back. We will continue to go out and pick away at things as time and effort allows us to do that, but we can't guarantee anything after that week of November 11th, so that's the last official day. And that concludes my director's report.
Questions or concerns for the director? If not,
Motion to receive and place on file.
motion to receive and place on file by Burnett, second by Murray. Under discussion, here none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays motion carried. Okay, next meeting is scheduled for the 14th. I'll try to touch base with everybody and see if that works.
And I don't know if the common council is going to be meeting the following week, because that's the week of.
They're not.
Okay, so we do actually have the ability, if we'd like to push out to the week, instead of going on the 14th, we could go on the 28th, which is the week following Thanksgiving.
That's what,
Should
Should
I-
things
works
come
for
up
me.
in those-
Should I,
Yeah, I was gonna do that.
I'm on board with that. I'll call everybody, Steve.
That works
Got
for
time.
me.
We'll move parks.
If, yeah, let's do that. Motion to adjourn
So moved.
by Johnson,
Second.
second by Burnett, under discussion. You're not all in favor, nays motion carried.
Nay.
We got one nay. Oh, Steve, any luck with Waslowski?